Welcome back to another episode of Warren Cali. This is a part 2 to South Sac and Oak Park rap beef and street politics. If you haven't already, make sure you check out part 1. In the first part, I gave you a breakdown of the gangs, cliques, and some of the rappers in the midst of all of this. Now in this part 2, I'm going to take another dive into more music. I know it's probably more diss songs and subliminals that won't be brought up from both sides, but I'm going to give you some key songs. Now, like we all know, I discussed in part 1 CML and Mozzy being on a rap beef for a while, but by 2017, Mozzy was on a major rise. He did several interviews where he was asked about Sac music scene and the past music artists. He basically crowned himself king. Mozzy basically said the old head rappers of Sac like C-Bo and Brother Lynch wasn't doing nothing for Sac and haven't done what he did for Sac. C-Bo and Brother Lynch both felt the way about Mozzy's comments. Even though both Brother Lynch and C-Bo come from rival hoods of Mozzy hood, Oak Park, they still felt Mozzy should have gave them credit and respect. C-Bo quickly responded, calling Mozzy basically a goofy and discredited him being from the streets. C-Bo even said he was going to sock on Mozzy when he caught him. Next thing you know, C-Bo and Mozzy was going back and forth on Instagram. Mozzy went live and freestyled. He went at C-Bo saying he was old and washed and he was never a threat to Oak Park. Early after, Mozzy dropped New Era King, a diss aimed at C-Bo. Literally, Brett's first lyrics was, "C-Bo, how you a living legend, living like a peasant." Mozzy then said Oak Park been sliding on Garden Block for years. He started mentioning dead members of Garden Block Crips, like Tiny Wee, Stunner Nook, then he took it up a notch. Mozzy mentioned an OG from Garden Block that died in the 90s named Q-Ball. He was killed by Garden Block's once rival, Medivh Bloods, at C-Bo music video. He even mentioned how C-Bo never did nothing about it or retaliated. Mozzy even fired more shots at CML, calling him Wanky Doodle, and saying in jail he don't be programming with Bloods, but instead, Crips. Mozzy even fired more shots at Brother Lynch. Just 2 weeks later, C-Bo bounced back with his own diss to Mozzy. C-Bo wasn't my era, but I always heard good things about his music, so this response was a letdown. It sounded like some senior citizen hippie hop shit to me. He proved he was washed in his diss. C-Bo clapped back saying Mozzy was coochie and never did nothing in the streets. He even called Mozzy a dope fiend. Let's just say, summer in 2017 and Sac was turned up. Just a week later, C-Bo had a video shoot in South Sac. Several Crips and Bloods from South Sac attended, including CML. The video shoot was shot up, leaving 4 shot, and an innocent 49-year-old man losing his life. This will all later come back on Mozzy, when the shooters were all arrested, and they were all from Oak Park. These dudes start straight snitching. This is already out there, and public record. Q Mozzy is one of the goofies in this photo. He told the police Mozzy gave him the straps to do the shooting, and even said who the shooter was in the crew, and said he was just a passenger. Q Mozzy snitch ass even said Mozzy paid them to do it, and police even brought up this picture Q Mozzy posted on his Instagram the same day the shooting happened. Months later, CML dropped a song called Clickin' Here. It had several South Sac rappers on it, and Heights rapper D Steez, and a few Oakland Case rappers. CML referred to Mozzy as Waldo, and said he heard he put money on him, but he was ready for all the smoke. CML mentioned how Oak Park rapper Buddy Stunner made a diss song, and that got him paralyzed. Deceased Oak Park members and affiliates was brought up as well, like Rob and Hefner. They even brought up how Poppy snitched. Bossland Chris from K's Gang out of Oakland mentioned how he caught Mozzy at a mall and had him scared. 2019, Oak Park rapper Little Nick, who was locked up, dropped a song called Snitch Gang, calling out several snitches from his own hood to his rivals. He didn't call Lick a snitch, but he called him a pedo. 2 days later, Lick, who was also in jail, came back with a hard response to Little Nick. He mentioned shooting up Oak Park and beating up Oak Park members in jail. He mentioned how Little Nick is in jail for a shooting he didn't do, and also called Stacks and Snub snitches. He mentioned how Zilla Zoe got killed, and how Stacks was turning down fades in the pen. Lick also goes at several deceased affiliates and members of Oak Park, like Nemo, Diamond, Shaquem, DeRay, and Miho. Outside of Mozzy, CML, C-Bo, Lil Nick, and Lick, and the older rappers, a newer generation of rappers started to form and rise all over Sac from every section in the city. 2 of the most known rappers became rappers like Briss and Uzi Marcus. Both of these dudes are rivals and have been for a while, so this is bigger than rap. There's a Fruit Rich Blood, and Uzi Marcus is from 36th Street. That is a Mexican gang, but he claims Oak Park Bloods. 36th Street and Oak Park are basically aligned together. Sac politics is a lot different. Well, in Northern Cali for that matter. You can often see Asians or Samoans, Tongans, Mexicans, and black people claim the same area, all being from different gangs, but they all get along. Where in LA, that might be a problem. That's why you see a lot of Mexicans in Briss and Uzi Marcus videos, because their hoods have good relationships with the Nortes in the area. Even though Fruit Ridge and Oak Park are now rivals, they wasn't always beefing. Fruit Ridge is a South Sac hood, but they stayed neutral in the war between South Sac gangs and Oak Park. Many Fruit Ridge Bloods and Oak Park Bloods have family ties, and Fruit Ridge is the closest South Sac hood to Oak Park. The beef came with the newer generation. Oak Park association with Fruit Ridge rival 36th Street, and Fruit Ridge clicking up with South Sac hoods like Meadowview decided the hood's once neutral stance. Rich did a whole mixtape with Meadowview rapper G-Man that had both rappers buzzing and popping around the city. Even Uzi Marcus thought his baby mama was feeling it. She was riding around slapping it like he wasn't her baby daddy's op. Briss even made fun of her and posted it on his IG page. Funny thing about this, how she called Briss the hottest in her city when her baby daddy Uzi Marcus rapped. That's truly embarrassing. But you know Uzi Marcus' pride and heart must hurt it after seeing his baby mama be a slut bucket. So bruh dropped 42K at this to Briss and Fruit Ridge. Uzi Marcus repped 36th Street hard in his song and took multiple shots at Fruit Ridge and Meadowview. And this a deceased Fruit Ridge blood named Pop. He called out Briss and his homie Danny. Then a week later, Briss dropped Spark the Fuse. He didn't take direct shots at Uzi Marcus, but for sure he made references and was throwing pinkies down. A hand motion dissing Uzi Marcus' hood. Briss lost his life June 21st of 2020 after getting chased down and shot.
Dad!
Oh, my darling. Happy birthday.
Dad, guess what?
When Briss died, Uzi Marcus, 3G, and Shooter Gang rappers Fleecy and VJ were on live laughing and dancing about it, even playing his music and mocking his dancing. CML brother Drada dropped a song called Bank, taking shots at Uzi Marcus and Briss Killer. A man was arrested for the shooting of Briss 2 weeks after the video dropped. He's still in jail facing trial. Uzi Marcus' goofy-ass baby mama also dropped a diss on the Briss after he died. She went to Meadowview to shoot some scenes, and also Briss' death site. She later admitted that Briss used to clap her cheeks before she met Uzi Marcus. Months later, CML released a song called Tricky Dance Moves, paying homage to Briss, and CML went straight at Uzi Marcus, saying if he caught him, he wasn't getting spared. Over this time, CML and Snez will be at a war of words on Instagram. After Snez was just released from jail, CML will make fun of him, calling him a bum and a knock, and expose pictures of him sleeping on the couch. Snez went on a rant and challenged CML to a fade and said he will knock out anybody that was with CML. This all led to some of the most disrespectful disses on SAC history. CML dropped Where's Waldo too. In my opinion, this and Mozzie's The Truth was the two best disses ever from both sides. CML and Where's Waldo went straight at Mozzie. First he brought up how Mozzie dissed Jack, then Zilla Zoe died right after. Even mentioning how Mozzie is never in SAC, and only when he comes back with security. CML called Stacks and Snubs both snitches, and said Snubs is a dope fiend. He even mentioned how E. Mozzie has a dookie bag. CML even mentions K Squeeze. K Squeeze was killed around the same time as Briss, and was a well-respected Oak Park blood. After this, let's just say he went down a long line of dissing dead ops and alive ops. He brings up Shooter Gang DeRay, Neem, Diamond, Selly Rue, 3G, Haiti Faye, Scar, Uzi Marcus, and Coney. Around the same time, 3G and Snubs dropped Dead Ops, and the first lyrics were Briss dead, Grego dead, Frank dead. All of them were from South Sac. In the song, several people from North Sac to South Sac were mentioned. Snubs mentioned catching people on Mac Road and the surrounding streets. Snubs brought up two Garden Block Crips who died, Cuz Lightyear and Snudda Nook. Snubs even brought up how he was mad that Drada survived getting shot. 3G then mentioned in his verse shooting at Meadowview members and a G Parkway member dying. Snubs later released Need Blammy over Briss Need Hand Me Beat. Several Oak Park rappers remixed Snubs' version, but all were disrespectful going at rappers from the Heights, South Sac, even Air It Out in East Sac. Also Briss affiliates from Stockton, EBK. Uzi Marcus later dropped Last to Diss Me in the Box. He said CML was on Vlad TV snitching about the politics and how he never slid for Jack. Uzi Marcus even mentioned how Stunna Blue was scared out of the gas station when he seen him. He also took shots at Briss and the True Story camp that Briss reps. Murder Gang Juju from Oak Park, who made his name off dissing, and also trolling his ops, made a diss on the Briss as well, called Panhandling K, and used Briss panhandling beat. He shot the video at JJ's Fish and Chicken, Smack Dead and Fruit Ridge. Murder Gang Juju dissed Briss, South Sac, and the Heights in the song. Juju is currently in jail fighting a case of shooting rapper Jody Woe. He even mentioned him in his song. It's still a lot to mention in SAC, but I'm gonna leave it at that for this episode. If you want more SAC content, let me know in the comments. If you haven't already, check out my previous videos. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more.